So as some of you already know, I was featured on Destiny's first ever fashion magazine, front and center. Look at that beautiful Titan. And today I kind of wanted to talk about that. I wanted to go over all three of the Guardians that you're seeing here today, my thoughts on them, and just kind of my stories of like how this ended up happening, and kind of the side stories that came out of all of this. And to give you guys a little bit of a teaser for later on in the video, basically there was like a little bit of a mystery revolving around this hunter right here. But either way, I want to say a big thank you to basically all of you guys for helping me make this happen, and welcome to all of the new people that ended up subscribing because of that or ended up following me on social media. And for all of those new eyes upon our channel now, I want to say a big welcome, and I'm Muffin Bandit and I talk about Destiny 2 fashion. And I would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button on this video, and if you do like Destiny 2 fashion, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. So before I get to the Guardians, let's quickly go over a story about how all of this came about. So at the time I was working at a phone store and I was trying to show a customer how fast apps opened up on my new phone because I was trying to sell them on that phone. And one of the apps that I ended up opening was Twitter. Now for Twitter notifications, I have all of those turned off because I kind of just go through them like whenever I go to bed at night or whenever I wake up in the morning. But one notification got through, and that was because I was already following this person, and that person was Cosmo. So what I did is I told the customer to look at some other phones while I looked through this message, and while I skimmed through it, I saw the part where he was asking me to be a part of this fashion magazine and that he wanted me to be on the cover of it. So what I did was I immediately ran out of the store. I'm pretty sure my coworkers thought that like a family member or someone died, and yeah, I didn't tell them what happened. I just ran out the door, and I didn't tell them until like later on. I texted them saying that something important had come up and that they were going to need to take care of that customer for me. And yeah, I didn't even know I was going to react that way. I mean, like, how are you supposed to react whenever you get a message from someone that works at the developer that made like your childhood game? So yeah, he just simply asked to submit my favorite Guardian to him and to like have a list for him, that way he can recreate my Guardian within this like special tool that he has to like pose Guardians and to render them out all cool like you see in the magazine. And of course, I had to submit my Siva Titan, which if you haven't seen the video on that Titan, go ahead and click on the little link popping up right now. And that was the Titan that basically started my like passion for like Destiny fashion. Hey, that rhymed. But yeah, that was the Guardian that started it all, that started my like love for all of this, and that inspired me to create the channel. Now I know that some of you are going to start complaining about how your Titan looks better than mine. Cool, man, I totally believe in you. Go ahead and submit to Bungie's fashion contest that's going on right now. That way you can get featured in the magazine also. But one thing I won't have you doing in this video at least is completely trashing someone's achievement here. If you think your Guardian is better, cool for you. If you think our Guardians are ugly, also cool. Just don't go shit talking. We all have different opinions. Destiny fashion is completely subjective. I might like something that you don't like, and vice versa. Sorry about that tangent, but I know that there's always a handful of people that just get so jealous that they decide to trash on people, and that's not okay. But yeah, that Siva Titan holds a special place in my heart, so of course I had to submit that one. And if you ever want to hear my thoughts on that, if you ever want to hear my thought process on whenever I went ahead and did the update to the Siva Titan, like I said, that video was going to be linked up in the top right corner, or it's going to be in the links down below. And now enough about me, let's go ahead and move on to the Warlock on that cover. Now if you don't know who that is Vanguard Vogue. She's also known as Miss Marifire on Reddit, and I've been following her for a while now because she puts a nice spin on showing off Guardians on like Instagram or her Twitter. And I would even go as far as saying that she does a lot better showcasing some Guardians. Like, look at this cool little animation she does on her Instagram where like the Guardian is still moving and then it like pops up the gear. It's absolutely amazing. So now let's actually talk about her Warlock, and I should say I have a little bit of history with this Warlock. I think a year ago from today, I think it was like in August or something, I posted her Warlock and I credited her Reddit account. And then I got a DM from her saying that I should like switch that up and like credit her Instagram account, which I was okay with. Like, I'm good with crediting whatever you guys want. These are your creations, do whatever you want with them. And yeah, I think that's how I ended up talking to her at first. I think later on I ended up like shouting her out for a couple of things. I think several times now, actually. I don't know. But yeah, I really like this Warlock. I've liked this Warlock from the beginning, and I was actually really happy to see that this is the one that she chose. And it was just perfect to find out that she was going to be one of the Guardians that was also featured on the magazine. Like, we knew each other, we followed each other, and it just fit so well, and she does such amazing work. Well deserved. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, her Warlock looks really different in this picture than in this picture, and that's because of the filter that was put on top of like the magazine cover. So now we're going to be talking about this picture here, so that way we can see it better and see how the Warlock would actually look in game. So one of the big reasons why I like this Warlock is the fact that she's using a different shader for every single armor piece, and it still looks absolutely amazing. Like, to be honest with you, I completely struggle with doing that. I felt very like out of place whenever I started to like look at all of our like covers that they made for us, because you can see my Guardian here, everything is like Midnight Smith, and then there's like Carminic on the head, and then you go over to like hers and it's a different shader for every slot. Like, come on, you don't have to make me feel that bad. I absolutely love the combination between like the Frost Reach stuff and the Dragonfly gloves. Those two just fit together very well. I've seen other Warlocks do the same thing, and it's just perfect. I also want to give major props for like the color choice. That like maroon color on the robes combined with the silver and like the blue lights. Everything just works out so perfectly, and it looks so good. It's something that the cover doesn't really do justice to. If I didn't just like make my Warlock a whole entire look around nothing manacles, I would actually be rocking this look right here. By the way, the Nothing Manacles video, I'm actually making that right after this video, so you can anticipate that that's going to be coming either the next day or the day after that. I know that that video keeps being like pushed back, but I didn't expect Eververse to have so many good things, and I didn't expect for this magazine to come out yet, so yeah, that's why it's been pushed back so many times. But I promise you, this time for sure, it's the next video after this one. I also like want to talk about something that like really made me laugh, because it was just one person, or I think it was like a couple of people, that called this look basic. Are you like, I'm sorry, I don't like really want to be like too mean, but are you blind? Like, what's wrong with you? Not only is she using a different shader for every single armor piece, none of these armor pieces are from the same set. So whoever was saying that, I actually challenge you to do the same thing with a Warlock and try to get on Bungie's fashion magazine, or try to win Bungie's like fashion competition, because that's not easy to do. But yeah, if you like Vanguard Vogue stuff, I'm going to be linking all of her social medias down below, so go ahead and give her a follow for me and tell her I sent you. And now let's go ahead and talk about the big mystery that is Numley, or as they put it in the TWAB, Numbly. So let's start at the beginning with this one. Of course, I already knew Vanguard Vogue, but I didn't know who this other person was. And I did try to Google them, because in the TWAB, it was like giving all of our names and stuff like that. And I couldn't tell if I was like spelling it wrong, because the head was kind of covering the name on the cover. But I started searching around. I couldn't find any YouTube channel. I couldn't find any Twitter, and no Instagram. And on Bungie's post about the fashion magazine, there was also like no tag there at all. But the way I ended up finding out that there was a typo in the TWAB, and the reason that I couldn't find him, is because of this Reddit post right here. Basically, this post was made by his friend, and they were just talking about how for some reason there was like no tag for him, and that there was a misspelling in the TWAB, and there was just so many little things that added up to be kind of a bigger thing. It wasn't anything malicious or anything like that, it was just a simple accident, but basically he ended up not getting a mention in there, so I wanted to kind of help him out. So I'm going to be popping up his Twitter right here, and I'm also going to be linking his YouTube channel down below if you want to go ahead and subscribe to him or follow his Twitter. But the funny thing about that post was, as I actually did know who Numbly was, I didn't know him by name, I just kind of like saw his work, and this is the picture that I found on that post. which then made me remember this picture right here that I think I found on the Destiny Fashion subreddit, and then I immediately remembered who he was. He just makes a bunch of these covers, and then it all started to make sense why Bungie wanted to include him in their own fashion cover, because this dude practically pioneered it. And something else that I ended up finding out because of this whole entire like Reddit post, it turns out he is a part of Clan Elysium, which was the clan that got world's first in the recent Vault of Glass raid race. So yeah, I guess small world, right? So now let's go ahead and actually talk about Numley's hunter. So I'm actually very much impressed by this hunter. It looks super dope, and I actually really like the way that the Aeon Swift gauntlets look on him. And the other great thing that he does very well is, again, he uses different pieces of armor from different sets. Nothing from this set is the same, except for some of the shaders. He uses Dreaming Spectrum a couple of times and Tangled Bronze as well, but there's so many mixtures of armor pieces and shaders, and it all just looks like it's from the same set. It looks like it came straight from Bungie, and oh boy does it look amazing. Basically, these are the standards that I compare all of your submissions to, because these two are the golden standard. They use different armor pieces, they use different shaders, they look amazing, and this is what you should be comparing yourself against. And again, I do want to say I completely understand if you're not a fan of any of our Guardians. We all have different taste. I'm just saying the general concept of having different armor pieces and different shaders, it's very hard to do, and you can at least acknowledge that. Also, I'm just really happy that Numley is wearing the Solstice cloak, the blue one that you get at the beginning of every year. That cloak is absolutely amazing. If you haven't tried using it before, I strongly recommend it. So that's going to be my story about Threads of Light and how everything ended up happening, and honestly, I couldn't stop smiling the whole freaking day. I had the biggest and goofiest smile on my face. I wish you could have seen it. Mainly because, yes, it is a big celebration of everything we've tried to achieve on this channel, and I'm just so happy that I was a part of the first ever issue. And not only that, but to be shouted out by Bungie, to get my YouTube channel out there, and also to get to talk to Cosmo, and not only that, I finally get myself a fashion emblem to finally solidify my place within the fashion community. So one last thank you to not only the people that are watching this video, to all of my community within the Discord server, within my Instagram or my Twitter. Every single last one of you helped me make this happen, and thank you. And if you plan on sticking around, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you do like Destiny 2 fashion. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. And like I talked about earlier, I do have a Discord server, and that server is basically my pride and joy. We have weekly weekend fashion contests. We have a place where you can work on your fashion to ask for fashion advice. We have a place where you can show off your current fashion. It's just fantastic. But just like that, we've reached the end of the video. Go ahead and click on any of the videos showing up in the end card right now if you want to watch some more. If not, I will see you guys next time. And Guardians, remember, stay beautiful.